Um, to me, we're so early right now in this space that I know I hate when people say that, but there's not a platform yet that like everything in my opinion is going to be cross chain. It's not going to matter whether it's on Solana or Ethereum or Tezos or Hedera. It's not AVAX. It's not going to matter. Like we'll eventually have a wallet that can go bridge through every chain. I'm sure it'll be coming from a central figure because I think that's the only way regulations are going to get pushed through. It'll be coming from like a Coinbase or whatever company comes through. We have a wallet. It'll You could buy whatever you want, any currency. You could sell it in any currency, no matter what chain the art is. It'll just be bridged on one central hub, and yeah, I think it's not going to matter what chain it's on eventually.
I agree. I
Yeah, I
definitely
like
agree.
that. So do you spend, I mean, could you give us a breakdown? What would be your guess in terms of like, okay, the amount of time you end up, not that you're specifically trying to break your time down, but just naturally, do you spend a lot of time on Tezos and Solana these days? Or is there still primarily you're getting a lot of influx from ETH artists? No, I even hate saying it that way, right? It's like artists are artists. It's just
Yeah,
where are you
exactly.
finding the art that you like, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I'm an ETH
It's honestly
artist.
it's honestly all over. So I've see a lot of stuff on Art Blocks and through links on Foundation and Super Rare, and then I always check Tezos to see what's going on over there, and go in my Telegram and Discord chats and talk to the artists and see if they have anything coming out or if there's anything that they know about or whatever mints are coming up. And then on Solana, it's the same thing. I'll listen to you guys and Easy and figure out what's going on over there. It's very difficult to go through all the chains. Like I have certain things set up on my phone and my computer that I could just go into different sections and okay, here's what I'm looking at for Solana. Here's what I'm looking at for Ethereum. Here's what I'm looking at for Tezos. Over here, over there. It literally depends on the day and what's being minted and who's doing new work. I'm checking everything every day.
That's cool. I like that. I guess one counterpoint to that in terms of, the idea of not being super cross chain, I'd love to get your thoughts on this is like, I mean, we've seen alt L1s blow up, so it's like if you were hanging out looking at a lot of art on Luna, like that would not be ideal at this stage of the
Yep.
game. And then you've also got some interesting like cultural, and so I guess I'm referencing Tezos there because it's like Tezos doesn't have much going for it as a chain, unless I could be totally wrong, but all I know is that they've got a little art scene over there, and I don't know what else is happening, right? And then with the merge, you've got ETH that's going to be just as environmentally friendly
Yep.
as Tezos, and then in Solana, for example, like the culture over there is they're not it's just different, right? And so there's not a ton of focus on fine art yet, and maybe you think that that's
That's
going to
not true.
change. But okay, so I'm totally off there. You think there is a strong focus on fine art on Solana?
100%.
Interesting. I need to start looking
So
into this.
yeah, I'm happy to send you some stuff. I will preface that we are the DC Group is investors in Exchange.art and Forum Function, which are the two big art platforms over there. But I will say that John Lee, I think her Twitter is I am Laura L. Adam Ape just sold his last Voxel Monkey for like 30 grand USD. It was like 800 plus Sol. I haven't seen that yet. People are buying stuff on Sol, and you forget there's a lot of people that got into like D Gods and SMB super early, and they're just they're Sol whales, so they're buying up all the art over there. So there's an art world over there enough where I'm spending time to like pay attention and talk to the artists over there and talk to the platforms and talk to our friends at Exchange.art and figuring out what's going on and who's going to be an upcoming artist and who's minting something. So Solana has a lot going for it right now, just as much as ETH. They don't have like the Gen art and that stuff yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
It's maturing, and I think that I mean, it's just so young compared to ETH on the NFT side. And I just feel like you're going to see more and more stuff happening on Solana. I know, like, for example, Brian Brinkman has a Solana drop coming up. Vinny Hager, I know Cat Smart already did one. The musician Daramola already did one. I think he might have done a couple. There's so much action that's happening there. I share your opinion about blockchains, Dean. However, I do think that one blockchain could potentially prove itself to just be the best one for this stuff.
Bitcoin.
Oh, we don't say that word on this show, Dean. Like, let's move on. Yeah. Continue, Pio. Continue.
Well, we're gonna have a big time Bitcoiner on Tuesday. And
dude, Udi, I'm a huge fan of. By the way, there is only one mega Bitcoiner that I can listen to, and it's him. Like, well, he's the only one.
We're going to be digging. If you have any questions for him, like ping them over to me. We're going to be digging in all this stuff. But whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Bitcoin or something else, I agree with your centralized platform thing, Dean. But I think that once we have that centralized platform thing and time goes on, artists will just choose whatever the most beneficial blockchain is to them, you know?
I don't think there's just going to be one platform and everyone's stuck on it. I think there'll be a player or two that it doesn't matter what chain you're on, and then there'll be different side chains where you could just mint on those websites. That's what at least what I'm seeing. But no, you bring up a good point about the merge. I would say I'm a little slightly concerned about Tezos and what's going on over there, because with the merge, it'll kind of like ETH 2.0 would kind of be what Tezos is saying they stand for. So with the carbon credits and the energy wasting and all that. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean they lose the competitive edge there. We'll see how. I mean, it all comes down to culture and community, which they have a strong one at the moment, which I think is super cool. So yeah, we'll see where it leads for sure. But I mean, it almost feels like what's going to happen is there's going to be a platform that's going to take over, right? So it's like OpenSea is like winning at the moment, even though we keep thinking every day they're going to stop winning, but they just keep winning. But eventually, like, I wonder if there's going to be like 2 or 3 platforms that win that happen to all be cross chain. And Magic Eden seems to be making really strong, like headwinds there. Do you feel the same way?
Say that again. You cut out over there.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, my thesis is that we're going to get a few platforms that kind of dominate, right? So it's not necessarily, it's still chain agnostic, right? We don't care so much about what chain it's on, but like the platform itself, like it's like it is now, like OpenSea is dominant. Do you think we're just going to get a few platforms that kind of take over the space?
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be OpenSea and Magic Eden banging heads for ETH and Sol volume. The only problem is neither of those platforms are good for art, for digital art. So it's like exchange.art is kind of like where you go for art on Solana. And then you go to Super Rare or Foundation for art on Ethereum, basically. Because good luck finding anything on Super Rare in OpenSea. And even for art blocks, I don't know if you guys know, there's a platform coming out called Archipelago, which will kind of index all of art blocks, so you can go and find things with traits, which is really cool.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was not aware. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of juicy stuff coming. So Dean, I know there's a lot that you can't talk about. You guys are the leader in your field. You're literally innovating, right? And at the end of the day, you guys are the trailblazers, and we understand that to some extent. Not trying to pat ourselves on the back when it comes to like content in the NFT space, we can kind of relate. But I guess my fundamental question is like, who is Cosmo de Medici? just kidding. Anyway, just playing. So Dean, like, obviously the focus is on art. Is there an opportunity to, like, let's say video games, like gaming really starts to emerge? Do you look at that because of the investment opportunity, or is it all about art?
No, we of course it's all about building the Medici collection, and then also we have the fund to help emerging artists as well. But yeah, on the Medici Group side, which is the VC side, it's all about crypto and NFT infrastructure. Gaming's coming, so we're looking at that now. Like we're sharing deal flow and networking with other big gaming firms and big gaming DAOs. So yeah, we're ready for gaming.
Okay, so and is that like a separate arm of Medici Group, or is it all the same thing? I just ask because it's like you guys have built this classy brand surrounding art. It's so cool, but I understand. But like as a fund, you have to diversify. And if the next big opportunity is gaming, which I think a lot of people think is the next big opportunity in NFTs, then that's something that you definitely want to take advantage of, I'd imagine.
100%. I just looked at a gaming deck today, so it's all coming in at the same time. So we have me, we have G, and we have Kaz, and we all have our specialties and expertise, that stuff we're good in, and we get on calls and chat to discuss, and we make decisions that way. But it's kind of like you guys have your morning spaces, and then you have your own breakout YouTube shows, which you guys are crushing. It's kind of like we have that with the digital art with the Medici collection, but then we also have the fund to invest in ongoing things in the space.
Yeah, I love that. So in terms of like your overall like mission, it feels like you're really pushing. Obviously, you want to kind of expand the culture, which I love. Like we just need more of that in the space. But do you kind of have like a broader goal or mission when it comes to NFT art? It feels like you're trying to bring this to the masses, right? Like you're trying to bring it
Yep.
beyond just us, right? But is there like a clear directive that you have?
Well, you said it exactly right. So it's a love of art and the digital arts. The other is onboarding people into the spaces. So, we have different types of people contacting us all the time, whether it be big trad art collectors or big funds. And, we're educating them on the space. They're coming to the exhibitions that we're having, and we're changing their minds. So it's kind of an all-in-one operation going on, as the main goal is to build a great digital art portfolio, but also onboard people into crypto and NFTs. That's like the main goal, because we've changed a lot of minds. Just for example, we teamed up with AfterParty.ai and used one of their houses in the hills to do an exhibition, and we had like 20 screens up. We had all the Grail pieces. A lot of celebrities came by, a lot of musicians came by, and this was like 10 months ago. And then we had some of the biggest trad art collectors in the world come by, and once they saw it on the screen, they were sold. They were like, "This is the future. Like, tell me." I want to know everything about all the historical stuff. I want to know what artists I should be collecting. I want to know like how to set up a wallet. Like all those things started happening, and it was really cool to see.
That's huge, man. I think the more I've kind of witnessed what you guys are doing and what I just saw with Grails 2 today, it made me realize it's kind of up to us, right, to try and push the
Yep.
movement forward, right? Like we need to open the doors and help people understand. And just really admire what you've done and really appreciate the time you've taken to hang out with us on the show, man.
Of course, appreciate it. And that's why I don't really like to use the word NFT, because I think NFT is such a negative connotation between, like, I feel like all the rug pulls and all the bad stuff gets highlighted with that word. But when you say like digital art, it's just another form of art. Just like there's oil paintings and statues, like digital art is just the next sector. So that's what we're trying to drive through.